laying down. No, there's 4 things in place for them to lie down. 1, their stomach has to be full. Their needs have to be met. Secondly, they can't be scared of any predators. If they're scared, they're going to stay standing. If they're relaxed and not scared of predators, they're going to lay down. Thirdly, they can't have any fights with their fellow sheep. Okay, there has to be harmony, and not button heads, but there has to be harmony of getting along with the other sheep. Because if they're not getting along with the other sheep, you got to stand and be alert because then the guy might come on and fuck them or something. So they got to be at peace, in harmony. They got their stomach filled, and they got to know the shepherd is there. They got to know the shepherd is there, and he's close by. So lying down in green pastures is more than just, oh, they're taking a break. No, all those things are in place because the shepherd is there. And the shepherd provides security, provides enough to eat, and provides harmony, works out the harmony with each other. And he, by his voice, he calms their heart. Sometimes we're standing on the edge. We're like, I gotta fix life, I gotta make life work, I gotta prove my worth, I gotta get what I want and get all I can and can all I get and sit on the lid and make sure nobody steals it. And my life is all about me and what I want. Instead of lying down in green pastures saying, I trust you, shepherd. You got me covered. Protection, security, predators, stomach. That's what our shepherd is, as we trust him. I'll talk more about this later, probably tonight. But I went through cancer a year and a half ago, and going through cancer, I was just talking about getting me close to God. I mean, I was just crying out to God and say, God, somehow meet me in this. It felt like again my Legos were getting dumped out, you know. And I remember my 2-year-old granddaughter, who is really skittish, and you know, all the time nervous. And when Mom was out of the room, she was skittish, and she would say, "Where's Mom?" And she would just be on edge most of the time. I remember Kira and said, that's exactly my life. Really skittish and really like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this treatment's going to work. I don't know if I'm going to die. I don't know what's going to happen to Janelle. Is she going to be okay? And I was just skittish like Kira, 2-year-old Kira. And then I also remember Kira. I noticed that about her, and so I tried to spend extra time as a grandpa. Just laying on the floor, playing with Legos, playing with things on the floor, and building a relationship with her. She felt safe with me, felt comfortable with me. And over time, she would let me hold her instead of just her mom. And I remember one time, talking about melting the grandpa's heart. Kira was kind of nervous. Nicole had just stepped out of the room. And Kira had this initial fright about Mom's gone. And then she spied me and ran straight towards me and reached up her stubby little hand and said, Grandpa, Grandpa, hold me, Grandpa. I hold her close, talk to her. Oh, that was good. And I said to God, I know you're my shepherd, but right now I'm not lying down in green pastures today. I'm pretty skittish, kind of like Kira. And I was just wondering, shepherd, if you could hold me. Hold me. What do you think the shepherd did when I asked him that? He held me. And he held me close. And he spoke into my ear. And I heard his voice. And over time, it wasn't instant, but over time, I began to settle down. And I began to lay down in green pastures. And I was okay with still waters because he would find those as well. The nourishment that I needed. Because that's my shepherd. And he allows for us to let go of the controls of the spirit over and to reach up our hands to him and say, hold me. He loves us. You're all that did to me. And touch my heart. And same thing with God. Our Father, our shepherd, wants us to come to him and say, hold me. I don't know how life is working here. I don't know if life is going to work. Please hold me. And verse 3, he restores my soul. Now, about sheep, if you know this, just smile nicely. And I don't want to insult your intelligence, but there's something really cool about sheep here. And that is that sometimes sheep get lots of wool, and sometimes they get dirty, and clumps of manure get stuck to the wool, and they get kind of top-heavy because of thick wool, and all that dirt and stuff sticks to the wool. And they get top-heavy, so top-heavy they can actually turn upside down. Now, you think that's kind of funny, it's no big deal, you just turn upside down, you just roll right over. Well, the sheep, when he turns upside down, he can't roll back over on his legs. It's impossible for him to turn around and get back on his legs. Once he's over that center of gravity and on his back, he's a dead duck. I mean, the vultures are already circling because they're saying, hi, dinner is coming. Dinner will soon be ready. Right? Because there's no way he's going to. The only hope he has is that the shepherd's going to notice before he dies, and suffocates. Shepherd's going to notice and grab him and flip him upside down, back on his feet again, and start rubbing his legs and start rubbing his feet, and rubbing till the blood comes back into his legs, and he can stand back up again and be okay. It's called when a sheep is cast. Like when the psalmist said, "My soul is cast down," that's exactly what he's saying. That I'm cast like a sheep. But when he says, he restores my soul, that's what description of what the shepherd does to a sheep that's cast. He restores the sheep back to his legs again. Otherwise, he would be dead. There's no hope whatsoever. And so the psalmist is saying the shepherd is like that to us and to our souls. Like when we're tipped upside down by the dirt of sin, the dirt of discouragement, the dirt of depression, the dirt of disillusionment, of selfishness, whatever it is, when we're tipped over and we're getting top heavy and we're losing touch with our Father, our shepherd. Our shepherd loves to come and restore our soul back again. But he doesn't, this is the key. When the sheep doesn't have a choice. When the shepherd comes, he grabs the sheep, flips him around, stands him up on his legs, he's good to go. We have a choice. We can say, "Oh no, shepherd, don't you be touching my wool. Don't you be touching me at all. I might be upside down, but I still got it covered. And I'm okay." I talk to some guys sometimes, they say, "I'd like to talk with you, Phil." "Okay, let's talk." At the end of the talk, I said, you're not really serious about this, are you?" "It's nice to talk to you." "No, you're not really serious. Tell me when you're ready." I've actually told people that. Kind of blunt. Jason, you probably have too, right? Tell me when you're ready. I can't turn you around. Only the shepherd can turn you around, and only can turn you around if you say you want it to turn you around. It's our own free will. But the shepherd is saying, "Oh, I wish you would ask. I wish you would ask, because I'd love to turn him around, and I'd love to restore his soul. And bring back the joy of his salvation and restore his soul." But the truth is, it's up to us to restore our soul. We're going to verse 4 yet, and then in our Sunday school, we're going to talk more about this song and pull it apart a little bit more. But we just have to get verse 4 yet. No, end of verse 3. "He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake." So I don't know what we're going to talk about next Sunday at Camp Andrews. It's really cool that they're coming here. I'd love to be here too. I used to share like that in different churches. But Camp Andrews, across the road from Camp Andrews, is Meadows of Hope. And for teen girls, there's equine therapy there, and equine is part of their healing. I'm sure hopefully we'll talk about that Sunday too. But they learn very quickly that following God is far more than just grabbing a rope tied around your neck and jerks you and leads you in paths of righteousness and makes you do what you're supposed to be doing. That's some people's perception of God. And if you don't, they're going to get out the whip and whip you until you do go where God wants you to go. But they learn with horses that you can tie a rope around a horse and you can pull them and jerk them and try to make them do what you want them to do, and you might have some good success, but you really won't get the full potential of a horse. And it really won't really work. And this one girl was trying to pull on the horse and pull its neck, and it wasn't really working. The horse was stubborn. It was just like this. It wasn't moving. And finally the trainer just said, why don't you just let go of the rope? And as soon as you let go of the rope, the horse turned right into the far end of the meadow. As far as the horse could get away from the girl. Just couldn't stand the girl. Ran way over there. And the trainer says, what happened? Well, the horse just doesn't like me. That's a problem. And he's too stubborn. Oh, wait a minute. That's kind of like me. I'm kind of stubborn too. So what do you think you wish your dad would do? What do you wish God would do? And they start talking about this. After a couple of weeks of working with this horse, the trainer will often say, so now, what's different about the horse now? Well, the horse just goes wherever I go. And we don't even need a rope anymore. And wherever I go, the horse goes, and the horse likes me, and I like him, and the horse just does what I want it to do. And I don't even need a rope. I just kind of make motions or whatever, and the horse just gets up and does what they're supposed to do. So what's the difference? What is the difference? One of them is religion, one of them is relationship. For some of us, including myself, we knew a religion where God had this big rope and a big whip. And that's how he controlled me and he steered me into heaven, right? But when it says he leads me in paths of righteousness, a shepherd doesn't have a big rope and drag his sheep where he wants to go. He just walks, and the sheep follow along behind him. There's no rope, there's no whip. They just follow him. Do I know that relationship with him? That I follow him and follow his footsteps and his example. And then verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff they comfort me. So he says when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. So what does that really mean? So when the shepherd takes the sheep, he walks through the valley because most of the good grass grows up in the plateaus, up in the hills. There's plateaus where the greenest grass grows, it gets sunshine, it gets water, and the best grass grows in the green plateaus. But the only way to get to those green plateaus is to walk through the crevices of the mountain and winding paths up through the mountain to the ravines, walk through those ravines up into the top of the hill. So that's the valley of the shadow of death. And the reason they called it the valley of the shadow of death is because it was like a death trap. It was a really narrow path. Only one sheep could walk at a time. And there were so many predators. And so, because the predators were all waiting there on the cliffs beside that path. Because as soon as the sheep would go along there, they would grab the sheep and that would be the end of that. So there were a lot of predators. It was often dark because the sun didn't shine down in there. It was just a really scary, dark time. The sheep would say, I'm not going to walk up that path because, man, it's scary up there. My dad and my uncle, they got eaten up there, and I don't want to follow a shepherd up the path because it's too risky and scary and too hard. So they had to trust the shepherd because the shepherd knew there would be green grass at the top. He knew it was worth the valley. I've been in valleys, and it's hard to know, can I really trust the shepherd? Because he says, he doesn't say he takes him into the valley, he takes him through the valley. As we talk about it in Sunday school, what is that like? Well, does he take us through the valley? And what's scary about that? Like, maybe there's no way out. Maybe you're going to get in there and get trapped, and you don't know the way out. But notice he says, through the valley, not into the valley. That preposition is critical because I can trust the shepherd that if he brings me through crisis like 2017 at camp, and when he brings me through cancer and different things, we'll talk more about that tonight with the painful things we experience, he brings me through them. And after I'm through them, I experience green pastures like I never thought existed, and a depth of his presence and a relationship with him, and brings me to understanding of all that he has for me in ways I could never have otherwise. I'm no longer paralyzed by the fear. Why? Because I can trust the shepherd. He brings me through valleys. He's going to bring me through them. There's going to be something up top. And like the last verse of Psalm 23 says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. There's assurance that someday God's not going to abandon us. Someday, maybe next week, He'll meet me in a very personal way and experience His great boundaries. Maybe next year, but for sure at the end of my life, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Do I know Psalm 23? Or do I know the shepherd? Do I know the verses by heart? Do I know the nice, cute answers that we know people are expecting us to say when they ask us questions? Or do I know the shepherd? Do I know his voice? Does he speak to me? Is he there when I reach out my hands as a 2-year-old? Does he pick me up? Or is it just like a horse with a rope, where he kind of drags me and I'm kind of scared he's going to whack me really good or send me to hell if I don't? How's my relationship with Jesus? How's my relationship with the shepherd? Do I know the shepherd? Do you have the courage to walk on this journey these next couple nights? To know this shepherd, to know him in ways that you could never imagine. I have seen firsthand people that have met the shepherd, not just prayed to receive Christ, but I've met him, people that already knew Jesus and already were Christians, but they met Jesus in a way that just transformed their whole perspective of life and whole purpose and meaning in life. And that's my prayer for each of us. Let's bow our heads and pray. Thank you, God, for your presence here this morning. Thank you that you are a great shepherd, a good shepherd, that we can trust you. Even when we can't see through the clouds, even when we can't know what's going on for sure, even when we face something that's like the valley of the shadow of death, thank you that we can know you as our shepherd and we can walk with you in that journey. May we know you in ways we never knew possible before. My prayers for each one of us in this journey to experience you, experience the shepherd personally. That the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Pray a blessing on each one of us as we continue to look into your word, grow, learn as the children have their classes. That we know you like never before. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Phil, turn the light.